Welcome to the Echo Driving School channel. So today I'm going to do a video on how to pass your driving test once the driving test centres open. I believe it should be on the 22nd of April, and driving lessons can take place from the 12th of April. There are instructors who are currently teaching, and in some respect I do actually believe that being correct, because you cannot expect to do your driving test when you haven't even done any lessons, and in some cases that's for 4 or 5 months. But obviously that will vary from instructor to instructor, so if you want to phone around to see if any instructors are doing that, then by all means phone them and then obviously see what the situation is. So today's route, we're going to be doing the Croydon flyover, and it is a route that is already online, and it's one of the challenging routes that I'm going to be talking about. And hopefully I'm going to give you advice on things obviously to do and things not to do in your driving test. And there will be traffic, so we'll talk about the traffic, and we will do 3 or 4 stops and hopefully a maneuver. The test should last roughly for 40 to 45 minutes, and if time permits we'll do an emergency stop as well. The driving test centre is closed, so I'm just at the mouth of the road of Mitcham Test Centre. So the sat nav will say at the end of the road, turn right. So I'm checking my centre mirror, my right mirror, and giving a right signal, and then I'm going to be peeping and creeping using my clutch control. There's no traffic on my right, so I'm just creeping forward and hoping that someone will give me way. Someone's just given me way, so I'm just moving ahead. Don't forget to check your center mirror and then change gears accordingly. I'm also going to be checking my right mirror to see if there is any filtering traffic. Usually when the test center opens, there will be motorcyclists learning how to ride, I should say. That is currently closed at the moment as well. Now there is a lot of traffic in around the Mitcham area because Beddington Lane is currently closed, and I think Carshalton roundabout near Hackbridge, that's also closed. So that's unfortunate, but as I said, this could happen in your exam as well. So we're approaching a traffic light. Again, remember your mirror signal maneuver routine. So check your center mirror, check your left mirror if there are any motorcyclists or cyclists weaving in and out. Remember the distance that you need to be keeping from the car in front in traffic. So we say tires and tarmac. Always think why these things are given to you. So if the car in front of you breaks down and you have to obviously maneuver around the car or the vehicle in front, that distance will allow you. And also if somebody hits you from behind, then you are not going to shunt forward to that degree and hit the car in front, so you're preventing a domino effect from happening. So you know, those are the advice that your instructor will give you. Traffic is always a good situation to practice your clutch control. Now the car I'm using is a BMW 2 Series Grand Tourer, and it's a diesel car. So my car obviously has an electric handbrake. If it didn't, then I would recommend with a conventional handbrake that whenever you are in traffic, then do apply your handbrake and give your right leg a rest. If you did want to use the neutral technique where you put your gears in neutral, so long as your handbrake is on and then you have your both hands on the steering wheel and you've got it in neutral, you can put your gears in neutral and relax and give your left leg and right leg a little rest. So yeah, just continuing on, there is a lot of traffic. The sat nav in this route will say at the roundabout turn right, so that right turn is 4th exit. And just as we're in traffic, I'm going to talk about roundabouts briefly. Remember, at roundabouts, if anybody has any issues with roundabouts, the best way is to first of all understand the theory. So if you're not sure of the theory, then I'll just briefly go through it. If you're turning left at a roundabout first exit, we need to approach it in the left-hand lane, give a left signal, and obviously emerge onto the roundabout when it's safe to do so. If you are taking the second exit and it's before 12 o'clock, then again, we don't signal on approach. We will give a signal after the first exit, check our left mirror, and then emerge when it's safe to do so. In terms of Lombard roundabout, the third exit is Croydon from the driving test centre exit, and it is left lane, no signal on approach. After the second exit, make sure you check your left mirror, give a left signal, focus on or glance on the right mirror because there are two lanes. There could be someone coming out, and then you will obviously emerge onto the roundabout. Now the exit we want, the signpost or the sign on the thing is
after 200 yards, go right on the roundabout, fourth exit.
So I just pause so you can listen to the sat nav. This is what the sat nav will say. We'll say turn right, fourth exit, and signpost wise it is Brighton, Gatwick, Wadden, A23, fourth exit, turning right. When you are practicing the sat nav, remember the sat nav will use yards, and when you are roughly 80 yards, then you need to give a right signal. So here I'm checking my center mirror again, checking my right mirror. I've just given my right signal, so I'm roughly around about 80 to 60 yards, and I'm looking straight away towards my right. I'm looking towards my right to see if there is any traffic on the roundabout or any traffic leaving the roundabout. So my right should be clear, or there should be enough distance for me to emerge without making a vehicle slow down, stop, or swerve. As I said before, it is quite busy, so we are just peeping and creeping. So make sure that your clutch control is obviously very good when you're coming onto this roundabout. So here I can see there's a chance, no one coming, and I'm going to emerge onto the roundabout. So I've just gone past first exit, that's second exit. Now I'm going past third exit. I'm checking my left mirror, left signal is on, checking my right mirror and left mirror, center mirror, and then making progress. Over here there is a traffic light and there is someone at the crossing, but they haven't obviously crossed. It's a 30-mile road here, and it looks like a 2-lane road, and some people do make this 2-lane. All you've got to remember is you maintain 1 meter.
300 yards, turn left, then bear right.
So you maintain 1 meter from the curb. So this car in front of me is trying to turn into a no entry road. So make sure you know and you look out for no entry signs. So the exit we're turning is coming up now, just after the 30 sign. So I'm going to do my center mirror again, left mirror.
Turn left, then bear right.
And then I'm going to give a left signal here. Now, I'm taking this turn in second gear because the road is wide as I turn in, and my diesel car will pull me round. Now the road bears round to the right, which means you need to follow the road round to the right. See this car? He's actually in the middle of the road and just decides to come in. Now, if that's... Oh, there's another car reversing. So all of these things, you need to be looking and making sure that you are adapting to what you see ahead of you. I actually don't know what this guy is doing, so I'm going to move away from him, and he is reversing, and I've just given him space. Obviously in the exam you don't want to lose your calm, and you don't want that situation either, but unfortunately it does happen, and you need to be able to negotiate yourself around any given situation. Now we're obviously approaching a meeting situation, so make sure that you have enough space for you and the oncoming vehicle to fit through. The simple thing we say is, if in doubt, hold back, use your MSPS easy, but in your exam it will be there most likely, so bear that in mind. This is all now a 20 miles an hour and constantly I am having to weave in and out because of parked cars. So I am doing my center mirror, my left mirror, and negotiating the space. This is where the Croydon rubbish centre, or ground is. So just where the Royal Mail is, just for anybody who doesn't know the area. And it's all 20 here, so do make progress and don't just sit in second gear. If the road allows and there is no issues around, you need to try and get into third gear and make progress. So the road negotiates round to the left. You can drop it to second gear, or if your car allows you, you can stay in third. There's no right or wrong here, but do make progress. Now you're going to see cars obviously coming out, so again, check your mirrors, be careful if someone is coming out. Earlier on, I would say, or early on, drop a gear to second so you can negotiate the space. Make sure you're checking your side mirrors. The road,
200 yards, turn right, then turn left.
So that's the first instructions from the sat nav in terms of over here. So remember, it's not the first right, it is the second right, and they will give you the countdown. So center mirror,
turn
right signal.
Then turn left.
Now here, this could be the first road that the examiner, if he does find or she does find any space, to pull you up and to see whether you can pull in at a safe, legal and convenient place. So I'm just going to do that.
Then
center mirror,
road,
left mirror, and I'm just going to pull in, and I'm just clutching down and rolling my car and getting my car in a nice and straight position. And then once I stop, handbrake is on, and then I'm waiting for the instructor to tell me, or the examiner to tell me what I need to do next. So the examiner will say, move off when you're ready. So my clutch goes down, into first gear, right foot on the brake, find the biting point, look from my left mirror, or left shoulders, left mirror, center mirror, looking forward, looking right mirror, looking over my right shoulders, giving a right signal, looking over my right shoulders again, and then I'm using my clutch control and push steering to negotiate from my stop position. At the end of the road, I'm going to turn left, so left mirror, center mirror, left mirror, and it's a little bit of a blind junction, so I'm obviously taking it nice and slow. I'm not in any rush or anything, as long as it takes. So center mirror into second gear, the sat nav will say at the end of the road turn left. So here,
turn left, then bear right.
Checking my center mirror, left mirror, there's a left signal, brake, clutch, into first gear, rolling the car to a stop, checking both sides. So remember, minimum of 3 looks. So right, left, right, no one coming, and then perhaps another right. There's no, obviously you do as many as you need. And then here, the sat nav will say bear right, but it's actually not bear right. It is end of the road, turn right. So center mirror, right signal, rolling, and it's an open junction, so I'm not going to stop. I'm going to bring the clutch up and go because there's no one coming. Into second gear, roll the car around the bend, making progress now because it's at 20 miles an hour. There is a zebra crossing coming up, so make sure you check your center mirror.
Turn left.
Now notice another thing about the sat nav, that it does tell you, far in advance, at least about 600 yards, what you need to do. So it's told me to turn left. It's going to say it again in a minute. So center mirror, left signal,
turn
brake,
left.
clutch, rolling, into first gear, do my steering, check my right, there's a car coming, check my left, it's okay, check my right again, nothing coming, and then edge out, holding the clutch and giving it a gas to come out from my left signal. Now you need to make sure you are doing this while making progress. So there should be no slowdown in your speed unless there is a reason, i.e. there's a car or something in that lane. So we're coming up to a red light, so you will maintain the left lane. So many people or so many students have failed here purely for being in the wrong lane. Now being in the middle lane here isn't a foul, but you will realize ahead of you that 3 lanes become 2. So you have to either get into the left lane or the right lane, which can become a challenge. So if you're in the left lane from the beginning, there is no issues whatsoever. Now, the sat nav will say turn right, third exit. Now you will see in your sat nav from early on of what they're saying. So you check your mirrors and you make progress, and I'm going to give a right signal to say I want to get in there, and then I'm going to check for the gap. Now unfortunately you can't see the gap here, so I'm moving in there early on and then give the guy a thank you. Now I'm going to turn right, third exit, center mirror, right signal. Remember here, do not steer to the left too much. Stay on your right, look to your right, no one coming. Again, you don't need to stop. You stay on the right as close as you can without hitting the curb, obviously. I've just gone past the first exit and I'm just going past the second exit, checking my left mirror. There goes my left signal. Now when I turn off, it wants me to turn right, so I'm going to come off on the right lane, checking my mirror, give a right signal, and again you're joining onto another mini dual carriageway. It's a mini one because it doesn't last long. Here a good idea is put it into first gear, roll, look over your right shoulder. If no one's coming, look at your right mirror, and then check your center mirror, accelerate and get to your second gear. Afterwards, the sat nav is going to say turn right.
After 200 yards, turn right.
Now the first right is a no entry, so do not think it's that right. It's the one after that I'm just approaching.
Turn right.
I'm going to give a right signal. There is a dedicated lane here, so I'm into my lane. There's no one coming, so I'm going to go into second gear and bring the clutch up and let the car just roll. Now the road I've just entered, it is a two-way road. So remember, on this road cars could be coming as well. So the examiner on this road could again say, can you find somewhere safe to pull up? Center mirror, left signal. So clutch it in, roll the car because it's downhill. As I'm coming in here, I'm checking my left mirror and then I'm stopping my car. Once my car stops, handbrake on, into neutral, wait for the examiner to tell you what to do. Usually the examiners, before you stop or as you're stopping, will say move off when you're ready. Foot on the brake in my car, clutch down, into first gear, get to the biting point, left shoulder, left mirror, center, look forward, right, look over your right shoulder, give a right signal, final look over your right shoulder, release the brake, control the clutch by holding it at the
end of the
biting
road,
point.
Turn right, then turn left.
Check your center mirror, into second gear. Usually there's cars on the left here, but today there isn't. So we're going to turn right, center,
turn left,
right mirror, right signal, rolling the car to a gentle pause, looking right side first, looking left, edging forward, looking on both sides of the road. I can't see because of there's a an ambulance transport. Checking my mirror again, making progress. This road is a 20, so if you haven't seen any sign, know that it is a 20. There is a sign coming up.
200 yards, turn left, then go right on the roundabout.
Now what the sat nav is saying is at the traffic lights turn left. Now in this route, the left,
go right on the roundabout.
the left is not a sharp left that goes towards the Pearly Way shopping centres. It is the left before that. So if you're confused in the exam, by all means ask your examiner if he means the left or if she means the left or the one that we're going to. The one we're going to, it's the easier one because you don't have to do a really 90-degree turn like the one on the left. You can see this Royal Mail van turning from. Both are a left. It's just one is called, it will be said, take a sharp left, and the other one is just called a left, but they both are a left in terms of physically. So it's just a matter of knowing where you're turning. So here I'm actually going to put on my handbrake this time because I'm waiting for a bit. I've got my foot on the brake because this is the way my car drives, and then as soon as it goes to amber, I'm going to find the biting point. That takes off my handbrake because most of these cars have electric handbrakes nowadays. So if it's electric handbrake, then it's perfectly okay to do this technique. And as you can see here, a bus is going to be struggling to turn because of where another parked car has parked. I'm going to just move over to the left to give the bus a little bit of space. And if that does happen, then be prepared to give the bus space. Don't worry suddenly and think, oh my god, there is a big bus, because you need to be able to handle any given situation. This road is a 20.
After 200 yards, go right on the roundabout, second exit.
So
turn left.
So here we have a mini roundabout. There is a zebra crossing beforehand, so obviously make sure you're checking to see no one's there. We're going to turn right.
Second exit.
Now, remember, I have priority here, so I'm doing it in second gear, and I'm actually going slightly over the roundabout because it's not actually possible for my car to go around it because it's quite big, so it's not an issue. So here at the traffic lights, we're going to be turning left. So center mirror, left mirror, always in the left lane when you have more than 2 lanes, or more than 1 lanes I should say. When you have more than 1 lane, you always need to position on the left hand side. Now that question a lot of people do ask me, why is that? Well, you want cars to overtake you from the right hand lane, as it says in your theory, so bear that in mind. So we're back to the 40 now. So this route, you know, as I said in the beginning, you are really being tested on speed, so make sure you do get 40. The road is empty, well, was empty, but now we've got quite a lot of traffic here. Unfortunately, there is a lot of traffic in around the Mitcham area now. I'm just going to not say much over here because it's just traffic, and let the video run. You know, when I'm editing the video, I may cut this, so the video may jump from here to the actual roundabout again, but it's just because there's not much to say and anything. So I'm going to actually pause the video here. So we are back from the little traffic, so we are approaching the Lombard roundabout from this angle. So remember, in the video, as I said earlier, this route is deemed challenging because you have to do the Lombard roundabout twice, you have to do the Croydon Old Town roundabout twice, you've got the dual carriageway you have to do twice. So you know, it is a challenge, so make sure that you are practicing this route with your instructor.
200 yards, cross the roundabout, second exit.
So again, remember here, the sat nav says cross the roundabout, which just basically means follow the road ahead, second exit, signpost Wimbledon and Mitcham. So you want to be in the left hand lane without
cross
a signal.
The roundabout, second exit.
So left hand lane, no signal. Now the trick to this roundabout is you need to watch what the traffic on your right lane is doing. So you will see that it's a 2-lane roundabout, and I'm approaching it in the left lane. So when the traffic on the right, if you have between 2 to 3 car lengths, cars actually passing, you want to try and sync your moving off with them and use the cars on your right as a shield, because if another car or bike or bicycle or anything, if it comes, they're gonna block the traffic for you, and you're gonna obviously make your second exit. So that's the key to here, because it can be a difficult roundabout because there are 2 exits really nearby. So here I've got the traffic on the right, so I'm watching out for blockers. So I've got a big vehicle blocking the right traffic. There's my cue to go, and you've got to be quick on this roundabout. Check your left mirror, give a signal, check your right mirror, and then move off when it's safe to do so. We're going to take the first exit on the left, our road. So it can be done in second or first, not an issue. Whatever you feel comfortable, do it in. I've just done it in second gear, my car didn't mind. Now we're going to then take the first road on the right. So center mirror, right signal. I'm going to do this in first gear because it's quite a narrow road and there's a lot of traffic here. Now this road, the examiner can choose to do a maneuver or even the emergency stop, which is part of could be part of your test as well. So I'm just rolling over here looking for a place to pull up so that I could do a reverse parking maneuver. So I'm gonna go ahead where that white Mercedes is and use that car as a reverse parking maneuver. So I'm going to pull up on the left, center left mirror, and then the examiner will tell me to stop and then say, using that car in front, I would like you to do a reverse parking. Now remember, everything's the same. You need to do your POM routine. So left mirror, left shoulders, left mirror, center, looking forward, looking right. I see there is a cyclist on my right, so I'm going to wait for that cyclist to pass. Look over my right shoulder, give a right signal, move off. As I move off here, I'm going to check my center mirror and give a left signal straight away. My car's just going to go past the car into my reverse gear, align my two pillars together, so door pillar to door pillar, one turn to the left, and then I'm looking over my right shoulder, looking left, constantly looking right. There is a car behind me. At 2 o'clock I'm going to do a one turn to the right, look over my right, get near the curb, and then full lock it right. Now notice here, the car could not get past me because there was other parked cars on the right, and that made it slightly easier for me. Once I've stopped, I'm reasonably close to the curb, I look straight at the car in front, and everything is obviously as it should be. Now here, I'm just going to reverse the car a bit more because I just want to do an emergency stop. So remember, the emergency stop is not mandatory, it's just if time permits. So they'll get you to move off and tell you that they will either say the word stop or give a hand gesture and say stop. So you should not check your mirrors, so you make progress as you would. I'm just going to shout out the word stop in a minute. So stop. Everything, it should be a hard stop. Once you've stopped, you look over your left shoulder, left mirror, center, right mirror, right shoulders. If anyone's behind you, give a signal. If not, look over your right shoulder again and move off when it's safe to do so. And that's how you do an emergency stop, if that's what the examiner wants you to do. And then obviously this route goes back to the test center now.
Turn right.
So remember, the driving test is not difficult. It is a matter of what you have been practicing with your instructor for all this time. The main thing or advice I will give all my students, the main advice I will give all my students is you need to practice. You need to do, in my opinion, mock test. You need to make sure that you understand the speed limits. You need to make sure that your clutch control, your steering, and your handling of junctions, they need to be good. If you cannot do those things independently, then you are wasting your money, and nobody wants to waste money. So for anybody who have got a test booked for, let's say, May, and you have not practiced for 4 months, you know, consider this question: will you be ready in 4 weeks of doing only 2-hour lessons a week? A driving test on average, you know, is almost £200, including your instructor's fee. Is it worth spending that money and failing? And also remember, if you fail, you're not going to get a test within 6 weeks. On average, it's going to cost you 3 months of time. So, you know, even if there are cancellations happening, there's going to be an exodus of students wanting to learn soon as we get to the 22nd or the 12th of April, and every instructor in the country is going to be busy. If they're not, they shouldn't be in the trade, because that means they're not good. Jokes aside, but it's going to be busy. So practice all of what I've said. Always remember, this is only within reason. This is the way I do things. If you obviously have anything your instructor tells you, as so long as it's within the legal limit, obviously take his advice. My videos are only to help you guys. So thank you for watching, and until next time, take care, stay safe, bye bye.